I am here speaking to us as the CEO on Njenje Media TV. For those of you who can hear me, we will go live shortly. This, as I've said before, is an epoch-making event. We do now have the privilege of having Professor Akintoye here, and we will quickly move to Professor Akintoye to take over and deliver the message that we all have been waiting for. So let me know once they are ready to do that. We will quickly bring him in. So I am, okay. Can you please quickly unmute from your end? Can you quickly unmute, please? Can someone help him unmute, please? Can someone please help him unmute? If you are sitting in that room and you can hear me loud and clear, can someone quickly help him unmute quickly? Please, can someone ask the professor to unmute? We are waiting for them to unmute from their side, then we can start quickly. Please, can someone? Okay, maybe Tony, I might have to. Can you quickly unmute, please? Can you quickly unmute? Can you quickly unmute the professor, please? Tony, if you can hear me loud and clear, can you ask them to unmute the professor, please, so that he can start?
Chief Imam.
Okay.
Chief Imam. Unmute.
Okay.
So, thank you for coming.
Now,
You were muted before.
Okay, Professor, if you can hear me right now.
Okay, they want me to start now.
Yes. You can start now.
Gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen of the press, thank you for being here. And thank you all for honoring this very historic moment in the life of our people. I thank the leader, the chairman of Ilanomo Dua, Professor Wale Adenina. I thank the Secretary Homeland, the Homeland Secretary of Ilanomo Dua. I thank Professor Majeure from the United States, who has found time to make it to come for this conference. I thank Ademola Edward, who is a very important person in the evolution of a united front for our people in the diaspora. I thank you all. I thank you, Ababa, Chief Oyedeji from your Okeogun area of our state. Thank you all. Thank you very much. And thank you, Mrs. Akintoye, my wife, who is great, who is joyful to see this very historic moment and is here with us. I cannot mention many more names. We have a short time to get this done. This is being carried worldwide on Zoom, and there are already thousands of people who are taking part across the world. So it's a very major event in the life of our people. This is and I thank all the 130 signatories to the December 16, 2020 constitutional force majeure declaration. I know you are not here, but I know that you are watching and you are taking part from different parts of the world. This is the constitutional force majeure union dispute and the expiration of the 90-day notice of grave constitutional grievances. Is the next steps for the trapped ethnic nations of Nigeria. The next steps for the trapped ethnic nations of Nigeria. This is the text of a world press conference by the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, NINA. And it is being delivered by me as chairman of the alliance, Professor Banji Akintoye. Thank you, everyone. As the distressed Federation of Nigeria continues to wobble through what seems its terminal throes, it will be recalled that the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, NINAS, aggregating the indigenous nations and peoples of southern and middle belt of Nigeria, who have found themselves at the receiving end of a most vicious ethnic cleansing onslaught by heavily armed invading Fulani militia, who are masquerading as herdsmen, formally declared a union dispute with the Federation of Nigeria as represented by the federal government of Nigeria via the Constitutional Force Majeure Proclamation of December 16, 2020, in which it made a 5-point demand upon the federal government of Nigeria to formally commence the remediation of the great constitutional grievances enumerated in the said proclamation within a period of 90 days, beginning from the midnight of December 16, 2020. The full text of the December 16 proclamation was published unedited as an editorial in the January 20, 2021 edition of the Guardian newspaper, pages 38, 39, 41, 40, and 41. Hard copies of the proclamation were also dispatched to the President of Nigeria, the Secretary General of the Secretary of the Government of the Federation of Nigeria, the President of Nigeria's House of Representatives, the Friends of Speakers of State Assemblies of Nigeria, the United Nations, the European Union, African Union missions in Nigeria, and the ambassadors of the United States, China, Russia, France, Germany, Belgium, and Japan to Nigeria, the High Commissioners of the United Kingdom and Australia to Nigeria, ECOWAS Secretariat, and other stakeholders. We report to you now that at the expiration of the 90-day period noticed by the midnight of March 16, 2020, no formal contact was made with NINAS by the federal government of Nigeria. And so we are gathered here today, March 17, 2021, at 5 p.m. to inform our people in all our 3 regions, as well as the international community, what our next steps will be in our resolve to extricate ourselves from the death trap and bondage unitary Nigeria has become to our various peoples. In refusing to step forward to the table of dialogue and negotiation, and in the characteristic arrogant disposition of the federal government of Nigeria, we wish to call your attention to several knee-jerk, patchwork, and bad faith options that the federal government of Nigeria chose to pursue in desperation to once again evade the sovereignty question it had been evading since 1967, instead of embracing the comprehensive framework tabled by the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, NINA, via the December 16, 2020 proclamation. In this regard, we note the emergency conference anchored by Channels Television and tagged Pulling Nigeria Back from the Brink, featuring Nasir El-Rufai, governor of Kaduna State, who chaired the APC restructuring committee, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, governor of Ekiti State, who is chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, as well as Engineer Aberibe, senator and Senate minority leader. In their various presentations at the conference, they spoke of the urgency of the Nigerian situation. They alluded to many of the grave constitutional grievances raised by the MENA's proclamation, but without any direct mention of MENA's or the December 16, 2020 force majeure proclamation. In what seemed like an unprecedented bipartisan consensus and legislative executive cooperation, they all agreed that immediate remediation steps need to be taken forthwith, including the return of Niger Delta's oil and gas assets to Zona, the decentralization of policing to allow state and local government police, but most curiously, the proposed urgent amendments to the 1999 Constitution and the invocation of the doctrine of necessity by the National Assembly to commence the remediation process. Leaders interpret this attempt to rule the resolution of the fundamental sovereignty question relating to now by the constituent components of that. Sovereignties are currently hijacked and confiscated by the Nigerian state via the fraudulent 1999 Constitution. This interpretation stems from the fact that the National Assembly, which itself is a product of the Constitution, a few months ago acknowledged that it has no constitutional power. Vests exclusively in the constituent component nationalities of Nigeria as an incident of their sovereignty. It indeed amounts to treason for the National Assembly of the exclusive right of the federal government to continue to usurp the sovereignty, the executive branch of the federal government, to continue to usurp the sovereignty of the people of Nigeria, confiscated by the fraudulent 1999 Constitution, which is already repudiated and rejected by the people of Nigeria, especially in the alliance territory, as represented by NINA. NINA also sees external collaboration to this treasonous conduct of the National Assembly when groups of individuals craft and present to the National Assembly proposals inviting the National Assembly to embark on the exercise of writing or rewrite the Constitution of Nigeria via amendment without the constituent component nationalities first addressing sovereignty dispute. Those external collaborators also talk about inserting a national referendum provision in the 1999 Constitution.
How are you? Please. Hello. Our voice is talking.
commandeer and railroad our high guard protective sovereignty to the National Assembly. There was also a recent suggestion by Nigeria's Senate President Senator Lawa, that the assignment of constitutional roles to traditional rulers in Nigeria will solve the broken down security of Nigeria. These are all parts of begging the question. We have to talk about it. We have to ask Mr. President, why is the government constitutional role not preserve the security act of Nigeria or even of the federal states? In all, it is clear to leaders that both the federal government of Nigeria and the National Assembly of Nigeria are fully aware of the great constitutional grievances into regime of security, the government or bandits. Read the December 16, 2020 Constitution of Majeure Proclamation, and for the purpose of putting a contextual backdrop to the post-notice action outlines that we shall be spelling out today, permit me to read in full the 5 demands of the December 16, 2020 proclamation, along with the paragraphs immediately preceding the demand and the one immediately after it, that is the closing paragraph, so that we can better understand the reasoning behind the extraordinary measure of constitutional force majeure, as well as the implications for the depressed Nigerian union and various stakeholders, including government. Political parties and international interest. 20 proclamation. Quote, accordingly, with the undersigned being accredited representatives of the indigenous nationalities of Nigeria's southern and middle belt territory, hereinafter called the Alliance territories, constituting over 75% of the population of Nigeria, on behalf of the peoples of the Alliance territories, and in the invocation of the universal rights of the appertinent to our sovereignty as indigenous peoples of the distressed Nigerian Federation, including the right to self-determination as enshrined in the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples 2007, as well as the United Nations Charter on Human Rights. Having exhausted every democratic people-driven process in seeking an orderly redress for the aforementioned grave constitutional grievances emanating from the unilateral imposition of a unitary constitutional order on our supposed federal union by a section of Nigeria that has also imposed Sharia in their own part of our supposed secular union. And now, in circumstances that have become an extraordinary emergency for our people, being confronted by the clear and present danger of extermination in the hands of our supposed compatriots in Nigeria, who are pursuing an ethnic cleansing campaign against the indigenous nationalities of Nigeria, hereby declare a sovereignty dispute with the Federation of Nigeria as represented by the federal government of Nigeria on account of our repudiation and rejection of the imposed 1999 Constitution of Nigeria, whose authorship was fraudulently imputed to us by the preamble to that constitution in its false claim that, quote, we the people made, enacted, and gave to ourselves the said 1999 Constitution, with a further line in that same preamble that we had firmly and solemnly resolved to submit our peoples and our lands into the Union of Nigeria. Furthermore, in invocation of our long suppressed collective sovereignties, we hereby proclaim a constitutional force majeure effective from the midnight of the 16th day of December 2020, with a 90-day notice to the government of the Federation of Nigeria, the Security Council of the United Nations, the government of the United States of America, the European Union and the African Union, as well as international other agencies of the international community, of the intentions of the alliance territories to consider our continued allegiance to the disputed 1999 Constitution, as well as the unitary union of death, attrition, and backwardness that it has foisted upon us. For the sake of peace and to avoid anarchy, it is our demand that in the 90-day period of this notice, the following specific actions must be taken by the federal government of Nigeria to firmly set in motion an irreversible process by which the aforementioned grave constitutional grievances will be addressed. A formal announcement by the federal government of Nigeria. These are the specific demands. A formal announcement by the federal government of Nigeria acknowledging the constitutional grievances and sovereignty dispute now declared by the peoples of the South and Middle Belt of Nigeria. B, a formal commitment by the federal government of Nigeria to the wholesale decommissioning and jettisoning of the 1999 Constitution as the basis of the Federation of Nigeria, as was done by the government of apartheid-era South Africa in 1990, to commence the process by which the apartheid constitution of the then South Africa was eased out. C, a formal announcement by the federal government of Nigeria suspending further general elections under the disputed 1999 Constitution, since winners of such elections will swear to and govern by that Constitution. D, a formal invitation to the peoples of the South and Middle Belt of Nigeria to work out and emplace a transitional authority which has specified the modalities for the transitioning process, including the composition and mandate of the transitional authority, as well as the time frame for the transitioning and other ancillary matters. E, a formal initiation of a time-bound transitioning process to midwife the emergence of a fresh constitutional process by a two-stage process, in which the constituent regional bloc will be will at the first stage distill and ratify their various constitutions by referendums and plebiscites, and in the second stage, negotiate the terms of federating afresh, as may be dictated by the outcomes of the referendum and plebiscites. By this proclamation, let it be known to all, including international money lenders, that Nigeria is now a disputed project, and that while the constituent component commits to honoring existing international debt obligations, we we're back on. It is therefore our expectation
Here goes.
Okay. It is therefore our expectation that you, our politicians and political parties, will stand with the people you claim to seek to serve as politicians or political parties in their current resolve to wind up the operation of the 1999 Constitution and to extinguish the source of their misery. If instead of standing with your own people, you choose to go to another round of general elections in 2023 under that Constitution, it will simply mean that you are a part of the enemy-imposed mechanism for inflicting death, misery, and Proclamation commits themselves to providing a detailed proposition for undertaking this fundamental configuration of the damaged constitutional basis of Nigeria. In this regard, the signatories adopt and incorporate the MNN Alliance's November 16, 2018 open memorandum to President Muhammadu Buhari on the restructuring debate, reported by the Guardian of November 18, 2018, as an outline of our prescriptions in this proclamation. Issued this 16th day of December 2020, end of quote. 6, before I proceed with the next steps, and the next steps are very important, permit me to make a new clarification, a few clarifications. Stance of the sovereignty dispute with declare and about the exact remediation propositions we made. 1, the constitutional force majeure is a carefully designed, decisive action process that will continue until it achieves its twin objectives of peacefully easing out the imposed fraudulent 1999 Constitution of Nigeria and the orderly emergence of successor constitutional protocols in keeping with the self-determination rights of the constituent component ethnic nations of the distressed Federation of Nigeria. It is therefore not a one-day Armageddon in which the roof of heavens will fall upon the earth, as been speculated by some commentators, whether out of ignorance or mischief. 2, the 90-day period of notice was for the federal government to fully consider the grievances raised and to bring itself to the table of dialogue set up by the aggrieved constitutional components of Nigeria. In that period, Nenas persuaded the peoples of the alliance bloc to refrain from any acts that might aggravate the volatile situation of Nigeria, even in the face of severe provocation, such as when, amidst much killings across Nigeria, the governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, recklessly declared that the murderous Fulani herdsmen rampaging everywhere in Nigeria had the right under the Constitution to be in every part of Nigeria and to carry AK-47 rifles. This means that after the 90-day period of notice, the peoples of Nigeria are aggregated in the alliance. We proceed with various processes towards achieving the objectives of the Demand 16 2020 proclamation, namely the easing out of the fraudulent 1999 Constitution and the distillation of successor constitutional protocols. 2, the next line of action expressly indicated by Ninas in the proclamation is that of reconsideration of the continued allegiance to the 1999 Constitution. It is important to state that here that the exact processes by which the reconsideration will be enacted shall be communicated to the public in measured steps as the days progress. And so NENAS hereby invites all stakeholders to be on the lookout for directions, every care being taken to avoid anarchy or any kind of breakdown of order. 4, building upon the former repudiation of the 1999 Constitution by the constituent components of Nigeria, including by solemn assemblies over the last 20 years, the joint proclamation of December 16, 2020 by NENA was to serve notice of the impending formal withdrawal of the contrived consent forged signature of the peoples of Nigeria by which the 1999 Constitution is being sustained and validated as basis of the Nigerian Union and its government. The press conference of today is to commence the retirement process. The press conference of today is to commence the retirement process of the 1999 Constitution in a manner that restores the hijacked sovereignties of the constituent components all through a transitioning process that contains existing governance structures throughout the transitioning period, as South Africa did to itself out of the apartheid constitution. Constitutional order. Come on. How are you? Yeah. Okay. Now to the next steps. Now to the next step.
Absolute silence, please. All the way.
Silence, please.
Absolute.
After due consultation with our stakeholders, bearing in mind that the 5-point demand contained in the December 16, 2020 proclamation was addressed to the federal government of Nigeria, and considering the fact that in the event that matters progress to the reconsideration of allegiance to the 1999 Constitution, political office holders from the alliance territories who will be directly impacted may be caught in the middle of a dispute to which they have not been made parties. NENAS therefore deems it unless to first bring so impacted. Accordingly, NENAS hereby invites all elected public office holders from the alliance territory, that is the middle belt, the southwest, the southeast, and the south-south, within a period of 30 days commencing 20. Formally extend affected persons and such details as modalities, dates, time, and venue shall be communicated along with the invitation. Our elected officials, our governors, our senators, our representatives, and so on, may claim that they have not been told about these things. So within the next 30 days, we will invite them and place it before them. In the aforementioned 30-day period of consultation, NENAS enjoins the peoples of the alliance territory, particularly the younger generation, at home and abroad. The younger generation are the most affected by all these things that are happening at home and abroad. It is more your country than any other persons. In the aforementioned 30-day period of consultation, NINAS enjoys the peoples of the Alliance territory, particularly the younger generation at home and abroad, whose futures have been badly compromised by the Nigerian state. To intensify the enlightenment about the December 16, 2020 constitutional first major proclamation among the populace, with a view to mobilizing the local populace towards the inevitable engagement with political parties and political merchants from their locality, who, for humongous personal gains, cling tenaciously to the 1999 Constitution, and even planning to partake in further national elections in 2023 under that Constitution, at a time when the people they claim to lead and represent are struggling to ease out the same 1999 Constitution from which all their miseries flow, including killing, gross insecurity, and mass impoverishment, and which make them slaves in their own homeland. The political parties must now be persuaded to close shop forthwith, albeit temporary, until the constitution by which the winners of any future elections, especially the 2020 election, will govern. Since all political parties in Nigeria operate under the 1999 Constitution, and the winners of any elections must swear to and govern by the 1999 Constitution. This 30-day period of consultation
Once more, I think we've run into another technical issue. And for many of you watching globally, I can see beside Baba there, we have Sunday Igboho as well, for many of you who've known him in the last couple of months. So we are working once more to reconnect. I think, as many of you rightly know now, it appears the network connection is no more ordinary. I do not want to point fingers, but your guess is as good as mine. Thank you once more. Let's see if the back office are able to reconnect and bring Baba back once more so that we conclude. Thank you, everyone.
So, it's your turn again.
Is it better now? Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Focus. Why don't you put it? Is it okay now? Of December 16, 2020, proclamation by the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalist Alliance for Self-Determination offers Nigerians and the concerned international community the most viable, most comprehensive, and most peaceful framework for undertaking the inevitable fundamental reconsideration of the damaged constitutional basis of Nigeria. As we may all recall, the situation of Nigeria compelled the United Nations Special Rapporteur to Nigeria. As we may all recall, the situation of Nigeria compelled the United Nations Special Rapporteur to Nigeria, Agnes Callamard, in the September 2019 visitation, to describe the constitutional arrangement of Nigeria as, I'm quoting her now, a pressure cooker for injustice. That's what the United Nations representative said. That the 1999 Nigerian Constitution is, quote, a pressure cooker for injustice in circumstances that pose a threat to global security in the event that Nigeria snaps. Since the most notorious global terror networks, including ISIS and Al-Qaeda, are already converging in the large swathes of ungoverned spaces in Nigeria, offers and with frightening prospects of an unprecedented refugee crisis for the world, should Nigeria become broken. As we sit here today, we are already seeing the beginnings of the flood of Nigerian refugees into the rest of West Africa, particularly the Yoruba, who are now taking refuge in Benin Republic. So it's already happening. What that woman said could happen is already happening. Now that Sheikh Gumi has helped us piece together the last pieces of the jigsaw puzzle regarding who are the terrorists tormenting Nigeria, where they are, what their motives are, what the Nigerian government and security agencies know, and there's no religious fissure within the terror battlefield. Ninas is confident
Unmute. I have. Yes, unmute.
Okay.
Go, sir.
Right. All right. The last very important paragraph. For the avoidance of doubt, the Nina's proclamation of constitutional dispute of December 16, 2020 terminated the life of the fraudulent 1999 constitution. For the avoidance of doubt, the proclamation, the Nina's proclamation of December 2020, of December 16, 2020, terminated the life of the fraudulent 1999 constitution of Nigeria, and therefore restored our sovereignty that was confiscated by that constitution. So we now are in control of our own self-determination. What we are doing today is to outline the processes and modality for the necessary and orderly transition to our full self-determination and sovereignty in the world. Therefore, we hereby call on the peoples of our alliance territories, the Middle Belt, the South-South, the Southeast, and the Southwest to rise to the challenge of shaking off the shackles and manacles hitherto imposed on us by the defunct 1999 Constitution. The start before our peoples are as follows. 1, to put together and perfect the documents of their sovereignty. To put together, to create, to distill, and perfect the documents of their sovereignty, namely the map of their territory, the draft constitutions, their draft constitution, or charters of relationships for those units that are multi-ethnic. I repeat, to distill and perfect the documents of our sovereignty. Namely, the documents are the following: the exact maps of our territories. 2, are the draft constitutions of our countries, or the charters of relationships for those of our units that are multi-ethnic. 2, to embark upon and intensify our efforts towards United Nations mandated referendums and plebiscites. That's the next step. So you young people, you must now go out and tell our people. Have arrived at a point when we will ask the United Nations to come and help us run referendums so that our people can speak about their future. Do we want to be continue to be part of Nigeria, or do we want to be independent of Nigeria? That has to be done. So, in the face of the demise of the 1999 Constitution, which has been if you have been at the impediment to the control and management of our territories and resources, particularly the 68-item exclusive federal list, the governors of our states in the alliance territory are hereby advised to, in the interim, work as their state assemblies, work with their state assemblies to make necessary legislative and regulatory arrangements for the effective control and security of their respective territories as a part of their transitional process to the new order, which has been commenced today. As a part of the overall management of transition process, we call on our people to cooperate with our state governors for now, for the maintenance of law, order, peace, and good governance in our various states. Thank you all for your attention. Thank you all.
So while we
You may please have your seat.
waiting,
Questions.
so while we are waiting
We shall be
to
taking
have
only
some
few
questions now,
from the press.
only a few questions.
Few questions and
We'll come
comments.
back to them. We're still in the studio in London.
We are still in the studio, please. We'll come back to those 3 questions. We're still in the studio in London, so we'll come back to you. Please prepare your questions. Only 3.
Yeah, go on. We can hear you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Professor Banji Akintoye there. That was a well-delivered speech, Professor. Quickly, if you can hear me loud and clear, we have over 50 media houses, both in-house and online, and over 1 million Nigerians and the diasporans are currently viewing the live feed. Now, coming back to Tony, if you can hear me quickly, are we able to extract some 1 or 2 minutes comment from Sunday Igboho, please?
Okay, very much so.
They want to hear.
You can hear him. You can lift it and take closer to him.
So,
Come closer. Can you see him now?
okay, yes, I think Sunday Igboho could be seen very clearly. And can you quickly, if Sunday, you have heard what the professor have said. I don't know if you have a comment or 2 that you can make regarding what the professor said. Thank you, the press statement that has been read.
My land, my people in Yoruba. There's no going back for all our father said. We want Yoruba nation. So there's no going back.
So thank you very much. That is very loud and clear. Or you all can hear from what Sunday Igboho just said now that he aligns with what Ninas, and as it was read out by Professor Banji Akintoye there, that he aligned with every single word being read out there.
Yeah, because I'm speaking for millions of Yoruba people. So I know anything our father Banji Akintoye say is the final. So we are with him. All our people in home and abroad will support our father to take our land. There's no going back for that statement. We want our nation.
Okay, thank you very much, Sunday Igboho there. And can we, Tony, I don't know if we do have the opportunity to take 1 more or 2 questions. There are people here who have questions to ask. Are you able to entertain at least 2 or 3 questions? Then we can, is that okay?
Right, we can take 2 questions, see where we go from there.
Okay,
Go on.
I will quickly take the first question from Prince Adewale. Prince Adewale, please, can you make your question very quick and snappy? You have a couple of seconds. Go ahead, Prince Adewale, please.
Good afternoon, all. I think you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. And I say good afternoon to my Baba, Professor Akintoye. Daddy, Alori Dobale, thank you very much, sir. We're really happy and we enjoy what we've done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And our brother Tony, I'll be watching you, I'll be following you all along. We appreciate you, everything you've done from long time up to this moment. And we are very happy. Thank you very much. All I just want to say, It's just to say thank you, Daddy. Thank you very much, sir. Orido,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you very much. Then quickly, for you to ask your question, you must have your camera turned on. If Otumba Olabode, you must have your camera turned on. Quickly, Otumba Olabode, can you quickly ask your question? Otumba, can you make it quickly?
I've stood in the last three, sir. 3 questions.
Yeah, go on. And before we proceed, we have over 50 media houses, local media houses covering live. And so they will also ask 3 questions. We just limit them to 3 questions so that the whole world can see them and hear the answers we give to them.
Okay, it appears Otumba is not yet ready, so we're going to take someone else.
Okay.
Yes. Good afternoon, all. And I want to thank everybody. I also want to recognize Professor Banji Akintoye and also the good work Nandi has been doing. Now, today is the day. It's now generally been declared that at least we have no constraint. We are not on any other obligation to be part of this contraption anymore. And all we need to do now is to get ourselves united and start the work of the building of our nation. This is exactly what I've been waiting for, and I look forward to working with everybody on this platform. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Just to make it clear, what we did on the 16th of December 2020 was to invalidate and terminate the life of that constitution, that contrived constitution, because our signature was put on it and we didn't have any meeting, we didn't make the document. And so having waited for 90 days for the federal government of Nigeria to come forward so that we can all begin to work our way to what will replace that document that is now dead. They haven't come. What we're doing today is to proceed with the processes that will, move us to new constitutional arrangements, to fresh protocols amongst ourselves. And then there's still a limited for the sake of peace, for the sake of avoidance of anarchy, until we properly take over all of the functions. But all those impediments thrown at us by that constitution are no longer before. We're just going to get those who enter the governors, the governors, can now proceed with whatever they need to do to secure their territories, to take hold of their assets, that they can begin to work to, in this territory until the proper constitutional arrangements are put in place. That's where we are now. We're just proceeding with the transition. When the federal government makes up its mind, it can come. If it doesn't want to come, the owners of the sovereignty are where they will just proceed before they need to move. We are going forward.
Okay, quickly, Tony, I quite appreciate what you just said. Quickly,
now the media of Nigeria.
Okay, thank you very much, Tony. There, I believe you can hear me. So please, I think, please, there is too much coming. Can we hear the question from Radio Nigeria, please?
kó pìkẹ́ òun ló moderate ó sọ pé kí Majeure decide àwọn mẹ́ta Majeure ló decide òun ló kàn ń gbọ́ ẹnu sọ mo ti ń sọ fún kò mọ̀ ọ́n ṣe àní àǹkọ díẹ̀díẹ̀ ó ti náà ló máa kọ̀ ṣé ìwọ pé volunteer ní wàá gbọ́dọ̀ jà bàbá ló sọ pé ẹrú ò gbọ́dọ̀ jà sọ kó jábà àbàjẹ́ náà ó máa ń sọ fún every time but kò lè change mí nìgbó kò lè change lẹ́ẹ̀kan ẹ̀rí pé ní ìsìnkú àti máa ń pè sọ. Ṣé ìgbẹ́ gbọ̀ngàn wá.
We have a bad audio from Nigeria there. So quickly, they're going to sort the audio back on. So we take 2 more questions from the virtual audience. Then currently a question is being asked by the Nigerian, the Radio Nigeria, I think. So once that is finished, then we're going to go back virtual to take 1, 2 more questions. Thank you.
Why do we do that? No, point. You didn't get a question, point.
Ó sọ Yorùbá, wọ́n máa translate ẹ̀. Yorùbá ní kó sọ, then somebody will translate.
Okay, let's carry on.
No, Yorùbá la Aláròyé now. Ẹ jẹ́ ó sọ Yorùbá. Ibi náà láti máa bẹ̀rẹ̀. Ẹ tí ò bá dùn wọn kó máa lọ. Fẹ́ gbọ́ English. Kó lọ sí Punch bá fẹ́ sọ English. Aláròyé la pè náà.
Okay. The last question was from Alaroye, and he was asking about that some people are clamoring for documents at the time we are getting on and that what how do we
dispute around the very country in Nigeria. The Constitution creates and defines the relationships in that union is in this interest. The owners of that are corralled into Nigeria are pulling back their signature from the forged instrument that create the union. Their sovereignty is on the table. Now, Yoruba is taking back sovereignty. The eastern part and the middle belt are taking back their sovereignty, and they will decide what they want next to their sovereignty until it goes all the way to referendum. If after 90 days, the operators of Nigeria will not want to come to table for us to work together, the sovereignty of the components are in their hands. It is up to them to decide what they do with it, and nothing will stand in their way until they get where they recover it fully. The people talking about restructuring, ask them, there's no union in Nigeria is stressed at this moment, and the sovereignty of the state component is not dependent on Next question, please. In this situation, we still have the indigenous nationalities of Nigeria issued a position, a proclamation of December. In that proclamation, and I will invite the media to please go back to it. Guardian newspaper has it on the front page today. The New Telegraph has it on the front page today. The website of www.freedomfromnigeria.com. Let's go the media houses because we spoke about this in the proclamation. That we recognize there's a government in place. We're not anarchists. We have offered leaders, has offered those operating the Nigerian government at this time, the Nigerian state at this time, we offered them a transitioning. We said, look, let the existing governance structure remain in place so that we can do exactly what South Africa did with our perfect possibility in 4 years before they go to new things. Therefore, if after 90 days they are not coming, we can say today that there's another 30 days that will make March 2021, within which the elected representatives of the three blocks in the alliance, the component, the regions in the alliance, that is elected representatives from Yoruba, from the eastern part, southeast, from the middle belt. They have been recalled, they have been invited to come home to their respective regions to consult, because the next step after what has been done already, as we said in that proclamation of 2020, the next step, which is the reconsideration of our allegiance to that constitution, will affect those people who are in Abuja representing these alliance blocks. And so we just are given another 30 days within which they should come to discuss with the people they represent in that Abuja and all the other people who are acting on behalf of with that constitution. So in that 30 days, in the press conference text of today, we again reminded the federal government that the window is still open for them to turn up. They were not waiting for them for anything. The constitution is in distress. The sovereignties of the people who are trapped in this union by that constitution is on the table for them to work out an orderly way of retrieving them. The governors, again, we already told our people to please work with the governors in the interim. The state assemblies work with the governors. Anything that constitution prevented them from doing before, they have to just sit down and if they have to pass laws, if they have to make regulations to go and begin to do those things. The security of their people cannot depend on anything anybody is saying from anywhere else. The assets that belong to them that have been taken away without any recourse to them, because the Constitution has a 68-item exclusive list. Everything on that exclusive list, the action that have been taken right now suspends that exclusive list. Yes. The action that have been taken by the owners of Nigeria in exercise of their sovereignty puts that exclusive list on the side. We're in Ibadan today. As we were coming here, I was looking at the newspapers. The governor for your state is asking the people in Abuja to remove solid minerals from the exclusive list so that he can resume control, or your state can resume control of the solid minerals. People are mining gold all over the place and other, precious metals all over the place. And he doesn't have money to work. And those people doing the mining are killing people in all the places they have to go to mine. Farmers have been chased out. And so we are telling the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, that the constitution that put his solid minerals in Oyo in the hands of people in Abuja and distant places, people who are not willing to listen to him, people who are killing his people, that constitution is no longer on his way. Let him go and make laws and regulations to govern, to manage those assets, not only the solid minerals, everything. If there's electricity that they can generate, let them go and generate. If there are other things that they couldn't do before, because that constitution said they couldn't do them. The security, the matter of security, it is that constitution that put arms and ammunition on the exclusive list. Is that constitution that say only the police and only the center can police everybody? We have seen that it has failed. People are being killed. So it is now up to them to join their people.
Okay, if you can.
Oh, okay. Radio Nigeria says that the answer has been answered. The question has been answered.
Okay, can we take another question? Can we take another question? Can we take another question from here?
Last question from Inspiration FM. Please go on. Please go on.
Okay, can we take
No noise.
So can we take the next question here? May I ask Deli Ajufo to quickly unmute and ask his question?
Let's finish with this one so we can mute them from here, and we go on with the other. There's another session that must go on in the next 15 minutes. So let's Inspiration FM, please.
Okay, when the person was already in speech,
yes. Yes.
We all saw how Brexit went.
Yes.
Now the person is ready to present a common front in other front, all other blocks to get this done. That's my question.
They've been working for 21 years now. We're only at the terminal stage of a long process to retrieve our sovereignty that have been hijacked by the carcass of the defunct federation. Nigeria as a federation collapsed in 1966. The people who seized the carcass and who now managed to impose a constitution that pretends that Nigeria is still in place, the Nigeria we agreed upon was to be a federation, was to be a secular union, was to be a union of equal partnership. Some people hijacked it. It is our sovereignty that we're talking about now, because they put our signature on the forged instrument by which they're holding our sovereignties and our assets. What we have done now is we're just bringing a framework, an orderly transition from where we are now, where that constitution has collapsed and the unitary union is at an end. So the thing that will replace it, that's where the referendum comes. The global community is listening. The UN had come here in 2019 to announce to the rest of the world that the killings going on here is on account of our constitution that is like pressure cooker for injustice. The UN Special Rapporteur to Nigeria, Agnes Calamat. And so we've come to where we just need to take the balance of the process that will free those sovereignties so that we can enter into fresh protocol. There's no quarrel. You can see Yoruba is here, the Middle Belt, everybody's here. The people who are causing the problem, who are killing in all the places, are the only problem we have. So those people who owe it a duty of to kill everybody else, those people who say we cannot be in a union of equal partnership are just the ones that we have just to put the process to it so it doesn't become disorderly. We hope and pray that those who are in government house will listen to their people and come for us to work it all out together. Because people are already resorting to self-help. only statesmen, the people, the Ninas, is a garden of statesmen that are now saying we must stop this before it gets, consumes everybody. Now, Professor Kitoye will, give his own answer to that question.
Yes, the new day has actually been fulfilled. We have defined our structure. We are going to define our structure. We have claimed our sovereignty. Self-determination. Steps are there. I will ask the referendum and did in Sudan. So that and now present their picture. Where is the mark of your country? Where is the mark of your country? Where is the mark of the country they are talking about? Where is the mark of it? Who are the people who are that? In the case of the Yoruba, can answer, oh, we the Yoruba people are how do you want to govern yourself? That is the mathematical constitution. And for the Yoruba people, it is easy. We are one nation. We have found appoint our lawyer from every day. Before the United Kingdom will say, okay, we are going to organize a referendum for the one for so we must include them now. That's it. And then, like the big bell and sound and strong.
Bless you.
Somebody can come to our land to come and kill our brothers, to come and rape our sisters. We don't have to talk. We can kill you. They can kill you. So enough is enough. Now, we don't want everything that we in our life to come and disturb our parents, our sisters, If you are making any plan, we are ready to face him and destroy them. If any police attack us, we are ready to back, ready to this country. We are ready to waste the country that we don't have mercy for Yoruba. We are taking back our time. Yesterday, we played I did some maybe like a 5 years old boy, 6 years. There's no father, we don't have house to sleep, we don't have any. India air, I swear. This country, we don't want to be here. We want
That's the point.
Gbogbo àwọn àgbààgbà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá mọ̀ sí, gbogbo ọ̀dọ́ Yorùbá mọ̀ sí. Àgbààgbà tí bá bẹ́ẹ̀ Yorùbá yìí, tó bá ní òun ọ̀pọ̀ ọ̀sìn kan tí bàbá wa máa ń dá tó ṣe léde akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó fídíò. Àwọn ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti òní tí bàbá wa ti sọ̀rọ̀, bàbá wa ti sàlẹ̀. A sì ní bàbá ẹgbẹ́ ìdí olóyún bàbá. Ọ̀dọ̀ sí ẹ̀mí kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tí ó dà fún àwọn Yorùbá tó fi àwọn tí ẹ wá ní kọ́ bàbá ẹgbẹ́ ọlọ́pàá kan tàbí sọ́jà kan tàbí ẹ̀sẹ̀ kan ó fi ọwọ́ kan wọ́n lọ́wọ́ kan tó lò ní àfẹ́ gbogbo Fúlàní àti nípa lórí ilẹ̀ wa mọ́. Láti sísí lọ, àdẹ̀fẹ́ ìta gbogbo àwọn bàbá wa ní ọdún àgbẹ̀ kan padà fún wọn. Láti
No, Ninas.
So quickly, if you can hear me back again to Ibadan, Professor, it has been a wonderful time.
All right.
Can you hear me very quickly?
Well, not do.
Therefore, there should be no reason why we cannot all work together for the purpose of from this level. So my advice to the young people is gather yourself together. Bring yourself together. Speak to our elders who are still hesitating about Nigeria. There is no need for any Yoruba person to talk about structuring now, or about the new constitution for Nigeria, or about the resource control, and things like that. The game is up. We have seen enough of Nigeria. Decided our status in the world and they're going to move forward. We are going to have a separate very soon. Thank you very much.
So that's a very fine place to leave it. Thank you, all of you that joined us today. So thank you very much, everyone that joined us today. That's a very fine place to leave it. The professor has made his final closing remark, and the conversation and the proclamation and press conference, as you all heard him say, that the 90 days that was given to the Nigerian government is expired. Therefore, as he read, that they will now begin the process of demanding for their self-determination as demanded by NINAS. On that note, I will say thank you once more for joining us this evening. I am still Mazi Ezoke, and once more, this is still Njenje Media TV. If you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, this video that you just watched now, many of you on the Zoom, you can see that the link to play back this video and share so that you can watch with others. Some of you have been requesting a link for the download. You can as well use that link that is being shared now from the back office for the download as you have requested. On that note, I will say thank you very much and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.